Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the PUCL Podcast. Might notice a different voice here since Thatch is off in some place, maybe New Mexico or something, who knows. Maybe he's gone back to actual Mexico from the good old days. But
What?
yeah, so he isn't here, and if you've seen the title, you might go, that's not a Pokemon game I'm aware of. Well, it wouldn't be surprising, because that is a fan game, and before you get too excited or disappointed, we will not be doing these very often. There is another one scheduled for end of October to fill in another Thatchless episode, so we have a topic. But, yeah, these will not be very often. They might be once, maybe twice a year, depending, if that, even. So these will not be every single week or anything like that. So, just as a warning, it's right at the beginning of the episode, so you don't just go, I don't want to listen to this, or maybe you do, who knows. But, now that that's out of the way, I'd like to introduce to you my fellow co-host that I just grabbed off the street. We've got Lynian over here. So how are you doing, Lynian?
Where am I? You said I could go home.
No, not today. Not today. Got a couple.
Okay.
Couple more weeks of work for you. And then,
All right.
And here, meet this other guy I grabbed in over here. Claude.
Hi, is this the PUCL Rom Club? I'm here to talk about the fan-made games.
Well,
How is my bit the less cursed of the two?
I don't know. All I know is that my bunnies didn't like it, and they immediately thumped at me like, what are you doing? Oh, they're still angry.
so what have you guys been up to in the good old Pokemon world? I know it's something we should probably talk about at the end of this at the very least, with the direct and all that, because that's something we should probably talk about.
All I've been doing for the past several days is rewatching the announcement of Chris Pratt as Mario, because it never ceases to be the funniest thing I've seen in years.
That movie is going to be amazing, but not in a good way.
I'm so excited. No. They couldn't have cast a better Toad.
That's true.
Keegan-Michael Key is the perfect Toad, and I didn't know this until it was announced.
I've come around on Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, because I'm not a big Seth Rogen fan, but I do think that he would do a very good dumb Donkey Kong. And that's the only way any of this could work. It's so weird.
I don't know. It is an animated movie, so it's not like they have to actually act out, which is, I guess, good, because I don't know if I'd want...
Pros and cons.
Yeah, the pros and cons. I've seen some curse things already about, like, certain characters being certain voices, and now just, like, you have to imagine this, but with this voice actor.
Jack Black Bowser is exciting.
That's part of
that
it.
I think he could do well.
I think it could. I think that a lot of this is like, this could be really good, or this could be really bad,
Really
and
bad.
I don't know yet.
And the best part is, the only way we lose is if it's mediocre. Because if it's a
Right?
terrible movie, we'll have two really bad Mario movies, which would make an amazing hate-watch double feature.
Oh, God.
Sounds like PUCL Movie Club's gonna come back.
This might be a movie night at some point, honestly, just watching this. This might happen once or twice, depending on what level of
terrible it is.
I don't want to say if I want to say cursed or terrible, or there's multiple scales this could go on, and that's just like one of them.
I'm hoping for the cringe scale to go way high.
Yeah, because like I saw a Sonic movie do well. I'm like, oh no, you can't do well. Nintendo, Sega does what Nintendo. No, you can't let that fly in 2021.
Which, now that we have Genesis games, when Genesis was made to be the Nintendo killer, felt perfect. Like, it was very funny to me. Just deeply funny.
One thing I'm going to say is Bayonetta 3 made me happy. I'm finally happy to see Bayonetta 3.
I just hope it's into the Platinum verse, because it looks like it might be, and that could be really fun.
It might be.
I'm indifferent.
Because they did show the dog from Astral Chain. They showed what was a Virgil lookalike. I don't think it's Virgil, honestly, because it makes you think Virgil, but it does not look like the Virgil they just redid anyways. So I'm like, I don't know what they're doing exactly with that.
Yeah.
Unless it was just it was like a Platinum game. They're just like, hey, we're just gonna have fun with this and do whatever we want with the trailer. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know. It's a little... I could totally see it being like Astral Chain Because the enemies did remind me of Astral Chain enemies, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What about you, Claude?
Any other thoughts on the Direct before we, or anything else you've done doing in Pokemon?
I've been, helping set up a bunch of the tournaments for PUCL. We have PUCL 500 and PUCL Factory going on. They're a lot of fun. I also participate in a bunch of draft leagues and other servers because I'm nuts and,
One was enough for me. I can't even do more than that, really.
Yeah, I think I'm in 4 at the moment, but it's nothing compared to McGee, who's in 8.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, all mine are different, styles. I have a monotype. I have a low tier. I have an Ubers one. So it's just
Yeah, I'm still, it's just so much, that's a lot of prep on the side.
Oh, I don't take long with prep. It's just a matter of, cool, we're going to spend 30 minutes, and whatever's done in that 30 minutes is done.
Oh, so you're doing what I did, and I still couldn't do that. I maybe think I spent that maybe an hour on prep, maybe a week, if that. Cause it's one of those things.
Yeah, so the more I have, the less I spend on prep, and I'm I don't care. And we're going to see what happens.
That's fair.
But, one of them's monotype, and it's alright, well, this is just dumb and silly. I'm mono poison, so it's alright, I have Ghost week 1. Great, we're gonna run Scarf Skuntank, and we're just gonna win. And that's my plan. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I run no calcs. It's just simple, alright, well, I think this is cool.
I know PUCL Factory, too, it's I've seen some of the teams, I've even helped with a little bit of it, and I am excited for one of the weeks. I am very excited.
Yeah. It's only going to get better. Because I haven't made all the teams yet, so I think I had the first 2 or 3 are done, and then everything else is just in the works, and it's alright, I just need to finish this up. But I've been waiting to see how things were going first, before I figured it out. Actually, I did with the first 3 weeks. Good for me.
I know you've got one of them for sure. At least maybe not that might not have the rental team set up. I know if you got a couple of weeks actually drafted out, essentially.
Oh, and there are so many fun ideas that we've had that are just exciting. So, I'm trying to lean into you can pick your favorite and win, rather than, what's the best. And just also for listeners, too, it's just that the PUCL Factory is you pick, one of 3 to 4 rental teams-ish. I think it's that, the amount we're doing, 1 to 3 to 4, depending on the week. Mm-hmm. Rental teams in a VGC format, but the teams are very much not really optimized for VGC at all, also. There's just, no, not at all.
Most of them are just singles that's maybe this thing has protected, this thing has Rock Slide or a spread move, It's just more
those are way too standard of moves for me to put on these teams.
Yeah. It's maybe that, some small optimization, but not much.
Yeah, it's more of doubles, but cursed doubles.
That's a good way to say it. Cursed doubles, that's a good way.
Just be glad that I got talked out of the, one-hit KO week, where it's only one-hit KO moves, and it's just pure luck. Or all metronome.
Why?
Metronome would be funny, but it's just one of those things where if you just get the
metronome would take forever.
You would sit there forever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even probably have enough time to finish the game.
And it's not really, fair. It's there's no skill involved. It's purely,
Purely RNG. Yeah.
Exactly. Granted, if people do want a metronome tournament at some point, great, let me know. We'll hit it up on, we'll bring back the, Fight Nights, or whatever we called them.
The Showdowns or whatever. No, it wasn't. Was it?
No. What was the Friday ones?
Battle
Clinics. That's it.
Yeah, bring back up a Battle Clinic for metronome battles.
That would be a fun night. It's, alright, cool, here is your team. Everyone gets the exact same team. We're not... Come, get a team, have fun, and click metronome. Who is the luckiest player?
Alright, now, probably enough time to talk about ourselves. We should probably head on to the news.
Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And in the news today, we've got a couple things that are somewhat exciting. So Pokemon Unite is now on mobile. It's on iOS and Android devices, and they added a bunch of features too. It's just battle guide, spectate features finally in. It's offline mode. They updated the UI and the graphics, and they just updated a lot of things with the game, and it actually kind of feels nice. And also,
they added new items to help balance it out.
And that those are all pretty fun, honestly. They're all different, I guess, at least from Unite standards. I think some of them are just ripped right from League of Legends and stuff and all that, but again, why wouldn't you? you know? It's a MOBA. You're gonna take stuff from other games and just implement them as you wish.
Yeah, the other big thing they added was the, if you hit level 14, like your character level 14, you get 3 level 30 items, which kind of kills the whole pay-to-win mentality.
Yep. It's at 10, 12, and 14. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, what do you know? I have an item at, like, level 29. Use this, you get all of your previous, like, item enhancers back you can use on something else.
Yeah.
So it's just a free level 30 item, which is incredible.
It is very nice.
Very
that
helpful.
was like that was the one thing with like, oh, this is awesome. Because then you can just like, you have those like, you just go for your basic items like Buddy Barrier, Muscle Band, Focus Band. Like those 3 are easy targets just to go for because most sets are running one of those items anyways, if not multiple.
The other big target I've seen a lot of people talk about is Scope Lens, because it has the biggest benefit of being level 30. Everything else you can run at 20, but like that one actually has a better benefit for being 30 because of the higher crit chance and whatnot. So
I do regret not doing that instead of I did choose the new items just like I'll try these out, and I'm like I kind of wish I just did like 1 new item and not 2. Because I did Buddy Berry. Buddy Berry is a no-brainer for me because I use it on every single build. I did Buddy
Berry, Focus Band, and I think Scope Lens were my 3, and then I'm just gonna like slowly level up the other ones when I can. I'm like, all right, go.
Yeah, I popped mine on Buddy Barrier, but I'm not sure what I'm doing with the others. I think I might do Razor Claw and Scope Lens.
Those are also another good option.
Yeah, because they both do crit stuff too. Because the Razor Claw is
you run them together,
and it just increases crit. Because I want to get Absol now, but I might wait because they also just announced Mammal Spine's coming on the 29th of September. So this comes out on the 27th, so it'll be like Wednesday, 2 days after this.
Wednesday is their update day. Yeah, they patch on Wednesday.
Yeah, so Mammal Spine will be coming out. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I want to, but I don't. You know, it's like
I've got coins to burn. Why not?
If it's 8,000, I could. Like, I end up buying Gardevoir later, because I kind of I want to play with Gardevoir. It seems good. I need another ranged attacker that seems strong, and it's fine.
Well, that and, they bugged, so that way, if you had claimed all your mobile rewards on day 1, you could claim them all again day 2, so I ended up with an extra, 8,000 coins, and I'm like, this is great.
I didn't know that, no!
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, there was a bug with, the first day, so if you claimed it on mobile the first day, and you went back on day 2, you could still claim it again.
Didn't know that. I only claimed the Pikachu and stuff recently because all the stuff. So I was like, oh well.
I claimed it when I saw it first come out. Like, oh okay, let me just go claim this. And then I found out the next day. I'm like, why is it still showing me as I have stuff to claim? And I went back on mobile and I'm like,
there's a lot of weird bugs with that event page at the very least. There's a couple things they're still working out, but honestly, everything they've done is very nice so far with Unite. I'm actually kind of happy. I don't know if it's going to keep me fully interested, but at the very least, I'm like, okay, new Battle Pass 2 helps.
They seem to be supporting the game fairly well. It's not been abandoned.
Well, yeah. It's only been out for a couple months. If they'd abandoned this soon, I'd be surprised. Cafe Mix is getting still enough support, you know? Does anyone play it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Also, episode 2 of Pokemon Evolutions has released, and episode 3 will release on October 7th. So, that's gonna be, I think this one was the Nebby one. This was Lily and Nebby and all that. Though we already know this whole story anyways. But again, hey, cool. I got to show it through different scope. I don't know.
I want to like this series as much as I liked the other one that they did during Gen 7. I forget. I'm spacing on the name of it. I think it was Generations.
Yeah, Generations.
Yeah.
But this just doesn't have the same punch. This one doesn't have the bedwetting terror that was watching someone eat nothing, which sounds like a joke. But then you go watch the it was the Gen 4 one with Cheryl. There's just a scene where they sit there and they're hallucinating food, but they're just sitting there and it's just forks and knives on plates as they eat food that isn't there, and it is truly one of the most chilling things you'll see.
Cool. Alright, I guess then in other news, we have there's new details regarding the Pokemon trading card game Live, an upcoming app for mobile and PC to allow players a chance to battle from all around the world. It's basically the mobile version of the Pokemon trading card game. There's a soft launch in Canada that will go to an open beta that will happen on PC later this year. Content from PTCGO will carry over TCG Live if they're using the same Trainer Club account. Various other features include 3 different types of currency and daily quests to complete. YouTube videos are available to watch. It's going to be a fun time to add to the trading card game.
There's a lot of things that I'm not looking forward to personally, because they've announced some facts and taken some back. Initially they're like, oh, extra copies that you have will get will be converted to currency. To credits is one of the ones. It's what you are able to buy singles with and stuff like that. And they redacted that. Because people, I think, they didn't really think oh, we said, or that wasn't either meant to get out, or they had to retract it because people on TCGO were essentially just going for old GXs and stuff that were just cheap but had a technically a rare card value.
Ah.
But it's also one of those things too, it's like, so if I have all these extras of cards just because I've been cracking packs for all this time, they're useless. They're just thrown out. It's like saying half your collection is garbage if you have multiples of cards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where also there's no trading.
No trading at all?
No trading at all.
Oh,
I think they're trying to stop their broken secondary market system where people weren't buying packs, they were just buying code cards.
You can still do that though, because you can still redeem codes.
You still can, but you can't do it. You can't buy 100 of them and then trade 15 packs.
Yeah, like
here,
there's issues with it. One way, like that's one way to fix it. But at the same time, it's just like I don't think it's
a good solution, but I do understand why an executive would think it's a problem.
They don't want to like have a market. I get it, but like it's still just as a player, it really just kind of hurts me because I'm like, I don't even know if I want to play the card game at that point. That's not worth for me to like, if I don't play that often, but when I do, I like to go, okay, I can go get these code cards. I can go trade for a deck if I really want, and boom, I have my deck. Now I can't even do that. I have to get the packs. I have to crack them, pray I get the cards I want, and if I don't, and if I get just complete garbage, I have to hope there's enough credits to get the card I want, and they have a battle pass too for the game. And
the rates are going to matter a lot, like how much you get.
That's the biggest thing right now is what the rate is of what cards cost. But when you have a battle pass that gives you 50,000 credits as a starting thing, that worries me. Because that means either cards are insanely expensive or they're being very generous. And I don't think they're being very generous. Like, to be honest, like, the ladder rewards on old TCGO were nice. Like, oh, if you want a full art trainer, you can bling out your deck. Here, just play the ladder and go. Cool.
Enough times. Yeah, you've got to win a bunch, but then you're good.
Yeah, you're like, you at least get stuff from laddering and stuff, and I probably have that in here too. The only thing that makes me happy is that, hey, we have dailies. There are dailies.
That don't suck?
Yeah, like, there'll be, like, you think there's like 3 or 6 dailies or something like that from what I saw screenshots of. Like, there are dailies so you can get your credits. I think you can get all of the currencies, I think. Or at least 2 of them. But, it's just, again, a lot of stuff I'm just concerned with. It looks nice, but at the same time, I don't care for the look over at TCGO.
I don't like its aesthetic. It looks jank. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks like, I explained this earlier in voice, not earlier today, but like before in the voice chat. Like, it looks like you took 2 pieces of construction paper and gave one to your opponent, and like put one in front of you for your bench.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the background lights up, cool, but I'd rather just have like a moving desktop. I'd rather like, not even a moving desktop, like a moving wallpaper instead of just like this animated background. I don't really need that.
I don't know how you develop a card game after this many years of Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering Arena and don't just do like in-universe setting battle maps.
Yeah, because here's the thing too. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is making Master Duel. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is making one as well, and theirs looks phenomenally better already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the big thing is with like any card game coming out now is you have to offer some sort of like, you can get like I love the idea of like, a wild card. You can trade this for any type of, let's say, rare in the game. I love the idea of, okay, cool. I've played enough, or I have duplicates of a bunch of things. Oh, cool. I get a wild card of like, great. And I can cash this in or, choose a way to like, not like trade in cards to get others of the exact same value. This way it feels better. Like, it's not the true way of like money-wise where things go, but it gives everything the same value, which feels better as a player.
This seems more akin to Hearthstone's dusting system, which is not high praise.
I like the dusting system.
Speaking of things that might be more expensive and an arguable value call, a new subscription service is being added to Nintendo Switch Online, which, alongside the standard online features, will also provide subscribers with access to various Nintendo 64, SNES, and Sega Genesis games. There were a bunch of really cool games that are on this service. We don't know anything about the price or a release date.
Yeah, they all think that would be announced at a later date. And there were some fun games. You have Ristar.
You've got Ocarina of Time is on there, Mario 64, as well as Genesis classics like Sonic, Sonic 2, and the best game of all time, Echo the Dolphin.
Echo was fun. That was the fun one. I might actually go back and play it. If it's not outrageously expensive, because that's the issue too. We don't. Again,
we have no idea how much this is going to cost.
we have no idea. It could be like $5 a year. Because it depends if they're going to go for a yearly rate or they're going to go for a monthly. Because I know they have the yearly rate for like $20. But like if they add like
Switch Online already is on a yearly payment. I think they would just say like you can buy this package instead, and then even if they wanted to rate it monthly, they just prorate it out.
That's the thing. They're attaching it to like the Nintendo Online thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like hopefully it's not insanely, and hopefully it's not like $30 extra a year for this, so they can like go for that. But because like a lot of like Game Passes for like consoles, like Xbox Game Pass, that thing is good. That is a good like bang for your buck. Because I've been using that a lot lately now, just with like, oh, I have this. I didn't know I had this. And I'm just looking at like, like, not that I played it, but like Psychonauts 2 just came out. Guess what? I can play it day one for free.
Nice.
Essentially. So for like, cause you just have the Xbox Game Pass stuff, like, sure, you're paying a fee, but like, if you can play like new games right off the bat, and even a lot of good classic old ones, it's kind of just worth the value. The biggest issue is that you're going for a lot of older games, which is nice. It's not bad. But if you're going to charge a lot for it, that's not a good sign. It'd be different if they were like, hey, here's a bunch of old games and here's a bunch of new games. Here's a good couple new games for like other consoles. Different. It'd be a bit different. But it's like, what, 30 games? Not even?
It's hard to tell. And we don't know. We know that other games are coming, specifically some of the being like Majora's Mask, a game I still haven't played somehow. And Pokemon Snap for N64 is coming out, which is why we're covering
but they had the perfect opportunity to do Pokemon Stadium. And they didn't.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad.
Not yet, at least. They might be trying to figure out the multiplayer aspect for it.
Oh, yeah, because that was the thing. Any game that has multiplayer will have online multiplayer. They did confirm that. I think one of them is like, I think there's Mario Party 3?
Oh, that's a good Mario Party, too.
There's one of the Mario parties on there, and that's...
I think it was Mario Party 1, honestly.
Well, even that one's pretty decent, so that'll have online multiplayer.
Yeah. So it might be, they might just be waiting to test the waters too and see what they do with it, you know? Because it might just be like, oh, well, people like it, people don't like it, there might be a lot of bugs we need to fix. Again, it's a launch, but we'll see what happens. And hell, by the time that we actually get the announcement, they might have more games to announce. Who knows? It could be a thing. But also a little bit of Pokemon Go news. I'm just gonna rush through this to a degree. One Pokemon Home thing, but the Pokemon Home update was just to add Furfrou forms, since they were now available to transfer and Go, because Go now has Furfrou in all the forms. To also coincide with the launch of the film, The Secrets of the Jungle, the next event will run October 1st through October 10th with special research to obtain the Rude. A bunch of Pokemon from the film will appear like Hoot, Larvitar, and Pikachu. There'll also be in like 1 to 3 star raids, including Explorer Pikachu. Jesse and James will return from October 1st to 15th in their Meowth Balloon. And then there's themed research tests for Rufflet and Audino encounters. And then Unova and Yamask will be the breakthrough research encounter for October. And then October 15th to the 31st will be the annual Halloween event with costumed Pokemon and a new special research day. There's a bunch of spotlight hours. I won't go through those. And there's also some photo contests to get some, just a bunch of stuff, whatever. But you need to be 18 or older to complete. And I skimmed it a little bit, but that's most of it. If you want to go look at the rest of it, you can just go on like Therapy or whatever news site you want to use. But that's it for the... Oh, was there any PUCL news?
No, there was a bit of PUCL news. So, this upcoming weekend, that would be September... Oh, it would be October 2nd, actually. Ooh, the spooky month. On October 2nd, sometime, check the Discord for times. We're still trying to get everything scheduled. It's a little difficult when some people aren't in town. So we are going to do a stream where a bunch of us are going to attempt to play Pokemon Master Trainer.
The board game.
The board game. The really awful board game. So keep an eye out for that time. I'll be hosting it, but we've got a bunch of cool friends and people playing, and I hope it doesn't take us 6 hours.
No.
But who knows?
But with that, guess you ready for some trivia then?
Yay.
Sure.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Thank you, Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, for those rules.
Spars! I'm trying to start that as like a thing, like, you know.
It's
like,
not a thing. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
No, I'm trying to make spars happen. But fine.
So basics, there will be 5 questions. One of these I'll grant multiple points for if need be, or maybe even more depending on how bad you get the first 2. And you've got 1 hint. So if you're ready, I will start the first question.
And just to clarify, are these typical trivia questions?
Right, now, since we're talking about Insurgence today, I decided to go through and grab a bunch of obscure Pokemon Insurgence stuff. These might be a little bit of like, oh, this is a little tidbit you might want to know or something or whatnot. And since, I guess for a little background, we've all played it, of course, but I went through the painstaking process of essentially 100%ing the game, minus one thing that I found out, and it's on this actual, trivia, is one of the questions. The one thing I didn't know. I was like, oh, that's fun. It's one thing I missed, and, well, other than, like, I think I missed 2 Megastones because I don't have 7 days to roll a gacha.
Oh, yeah, no, that was...
Yeah, that's pain. But yeah, if you're ready, I will answer the first question. Or I'm not going to answer the first question. You're welcome, but no. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Alright. So, in Insurgence, you have the Tesseract, the held item that lets you use various, like, field moves. One of them is getting DNA to transform into other people. So, other than the use of immediately, like, after you immediately get it, what other use does Zenith's DNA have? It has one other use in the game, other than, like, what you do immediately after getting it.
Zenith's DNA? Zenith is the Groudon cult man.
It's not Abyssal, but, Infernal. The Infernal cult
Okay.
leader.
How specific do we have to be?
You need to tell me what it gets you.
No, I remember this. There's a dude who's looking, because Zenith has, like, really weird hair, and there's a dude who is looking for, either specifically Zenith or, like, someone with purple and red hair, and you need to talk to him to get a reward.
Mm-hmm. You need to tell me what that reward is, if you can.
Oh,
I can't! I can barely remember that.
No, it's I believe it's a Delta.
I'll be nice and give kind of give some warmer or colder things because they're hard to a degree. You are on the right track with it's something having to do with the Delta.
Yeah.
Is it a Megastone?
Is it Golett?
Not Golett. Golett is something way harder.
Oh, good. Of course it is.
Is it a Megastone?
You're
like a Delta Megastone?
I'll be nice. Yeah, it is a Delta Megastone. You need to tell me which one it is.
Of course it's a Delta Megastone. Why don't you be like
There's
Delta
like 40 of them.
No idea.
Okay, so he's
is it Delta Mega Mawile? Oh no, I'm trying to think of like things that were like red and black in the game.
Well, Delta Sunflora, but I don't think that is...
No, you get that with the gacha.
Oh.
It does share a type with Delta Mega Sunflora.
Poison or fire?
Presumably.
It's not Delta Glalie, I don't think. I don't think it was Delta Frostlass.
No, because those are both in the room with Delta Snowrunt.
Yeah.
Look, man, I don't...
Yeah, like, this is now gonna be so much more difficult. Why, I'm trying to, like, go through the list of ones I remember in my head. Like, was Delta Lantern have a Mega? I don't know.
I'm just trying to go over, like, Delta Sableye I know isn't there, but,
Delta Sableye is fire.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's not, it's in Holland.
I will say that this one Megastone had a weird spelling.
Delta Giraffurigite? Or...
Mega Delta Camera?
Essentially, it's Delta Giraffurigite. It's, well, Eti Giraffurigite because it's a palindrome.
Because it has to remain a palindrome.
Yeah. That is what you'd get. I'll be nice and give a point.
I'll take it.
I think what I'll do is I'll give you 2 hints for this because it's actually either, like,
difficult,
2 hints.
Difficult and very specific.
Yes, they are. Like, I could have just given it to you, like, oh yeah, you get a Megastone, but it's a certain one, you know.
Sure.
I'm not being nice about this. I'm being nice, but I'm not being nice, so we'll just watch you squirm a little bit. So, question number 2. Kind of basic. How do you get Space Mew?
What?
Yeah, you're right. Well, how do you acquire the Mew in the astronaut outfit?
There's a Mew in an astronaut outfit?
I didn't know this until I was, like, looking around, like, wait, what?
Is that the one where you have to beat the Elite Four like 5 times without like losing a single member?
No, that is the Red Machamp, Gardevoir, and Lucario.
So close. Yeah, no idea.
I can't even begin to guess.
Do you want to cash in a hint?
Yes, please.
Sure.
It would be a method of interacting with another trainer, as in
Is it
another
like
player.
like another player?
It's not exactly,
NPC.
but you have to do something in that vein.
Is it like collecting 100 flags from secret bases type thing?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because
I know that's like the Diamond and Pearl like Spiritomb method, but
it can't be just like trading it, right?
It could be. That is a method of interaction with another trainer.
I thought it had to be in like I think it's secret base then stuff.
It could be trading, it could be battling, it could be other methods, it could be...
The only thing I can think of is interacting with a player is trading or battling, but I don't think battling would do a thing.
It was introduced in Gen 6.
Wonder Trade.
There you go.
Really? It's a Wonder Trade?
You have to Wonder Trade the thing, and it'll just come back to you as Space Mew. Yeah, don't ask me how, don't ask me why.
Okay, I won't.
So you guys have one hint left. I'm being...
Okay.
Sure.
And here's the multiple point question. This one actually is the easy one out of all of these.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure you know this flat out. Like,
Okay.
So there are 4 answers. I'll give you 1 point for 2, 2 points for all 4.
Great.
Actually, that'd be nice if you can tell me what the extra, like, I guess what the fifth in quotations marks has or is. I guess I'll give you another point.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll tell
You
us.
don't understand when I say the question.
Yeah.
The Elite Four each have a team based around a certain strategy. What are those strategies?
First one's Baton Pass, right? That's one.
Baton Pass, Hail, Sandstorm, and I want to say Trick Room.
I thought it was the dark one, the dark thing, like the
Eclipse.
right? Yeah,
No, because it was 2 weathers and 2 non-weathers. I'm pretty sure it's Trick Room.
Well, then there's the champion.
Yeah, but the champion's whole thing is like minimal weaknesses. Like all Pokemon have like defensive options and are trying to have as close to 0 weaknesses as possible.
Do you want to lock those in, or do you want to keep?
Yep,
what would you
I
like
do.
to
I feel really good about Trick Room, Hail,
Okay.
Sandstorm, Baton Pass.
Yeah, those are the 4. Baton Pass,
Okay.
Sandstorm, Hail, and Trick Room are the 4 main strategies, and then, like, again, you kind of got it with the darkness and minimal weakness thing, because again, the champion changes from the first time to the second time, and the first time is like, again, a lot of dark type still too, and just minimal weakness, and then the other one, it's been a minute, I didn't look at their actual abilities, but I think on hard mode they might actually have a Eclipse team, because they have all the types for that, so, one thing I wasn't entirely sure, but I will give you that. You got the 3 points I was offering.
Woo!
So, yeah, that was the easy one, I feel, because it's like, okay, it's...
If you played the game, you remember. The pain.
And they are pain. Those Elite Four trainers are pain. I remember doing that thing. That was not fun. That was not a fun time.
Well, and there's like also the double battle champion too.
Oh, double battle champion's fine second time through. It's the first time through with pain. Especially if you're doing some challenges with it for completion, because they force you to do that for extra stuff. But before we get too off track, so question number 4. What does the ability Protean Maxima do? This is so the game you get like the 3 Delta starters, but you also have a chance of getting Eevee, which also can Mega Evolve, and this is Mega Eevee's ability.
It lets you change Eevee into Mega Eevee into an Evolution upon using one of several specific moves.
That is correct. Yeah, I'm just going to get it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like lets you have Eevee, but also all the other Evolutions.
You basically get to be Red's Eevee from the Pokemon manga.
Yeah, we're just like changes between the 3, and then eventually just sits at 1. Yeah, it is really cool. Like it'd be fun to do a playthrough with that thing, just because again, like it also lets you get like a bunch of different moves on it too. Like it gets you, you can be like fully special with like all their like high damaging moves on one mon.
Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Psychic, Thunderbolt.
Pretty much. I don't know if it gets you Ice Beam. I can't remember.
It does.
It does? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it does. Or at least Blizzard then.
Yeah, it is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, final question, again, base stat question. And then one last question until you can be free of this torture.
Oh gosh.
What fighting type Pokemon has the highest base defense stat?
What fighting type Pokemon has the highest base defense? Gosh, it's a Delta form. I know it's Delta form. It has to be a Delta form.
It's got to be a Mega, right? Like, because they added so many Megas.
It's Delta Shuckle.
What?
Doesn't it? Because Shuckle already has high defense, and they kept all the stats, and they just changed it. Because I know Delta Shuckle's fighting.
You know what? Sure.
That seems like a Shamu question. To be like, oh, we're going to make Shuckle an answer.
I didn't even know there was a Delta Shuckle.
Oh,
but we'll
yeah.
go with it.
I need to look this up because I might have gotten this wrong myself.
Oh, I have no idea if it's right or not. I just know Delta Shuckle is fighting, and Shuckle normally has high fighting. High defense.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just need to look.
Oh, I hope I'm wrong.
Not what I had written down.
Oh, that's not good.
Give me a minute.
Well, I may have screwed this up then. All right.
I have nothing better.
Watch Delta Shuckle have, defenses and, offenses switched, and I'm just like, well...
No, you totally could be right. No, you're right, yeah. No, I... up. There's a bleep.
Caught it. Mark down the time.
I was trying to look at the stuff, too, and I was like, oh, what has the highest? And, it didn't pop up. So, yeah, you got it right,
what
though.
What did you have for the answer?
Mega Delta Caesar. That's what I had down. I got that wrong.
Yeah, that would...
Probably would have been the second highest or third highest at the very least, but, I got that wrong. But, yeah, you got that right. I can't.
Yeah!
Yay!
Thank you, generic stats. I'm knowing the obscure changes of some of the Pokemon.
And with that, you guys got 7 points. You're welcome.
I don't feel like I did.
We got 7 Insurgence points, which we'll see what Thatch decides to translate that over.
Yeah, it might be a point, maybe. The points don't matter, that's what the game is.
Yeah, it's just trivia, the points don't matter.
These are fan points. They're not allowed to come to points home.
Oh boy.
Yeah, welcome to the PUCL podcast where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
We're gonna keep these points for the fan game episodes. I'll just slowly...
Oh, good.
Maybe there'll be something. Maybe there'll be something when you hit 100.
If we hit 100 fan points, we get a free,
if someone
Subway
gets
sandwich.
Oh, I know the perfect reward. You get 100 fan points, you get a copy of Balan Wonderworld.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say we could get a Fire Red card and then flash a ROM onto it for the winner, but I think Balan Wonderworld is probably better because it's, a Mario fan ROM that somehow got a budget.
It's so bad.
But since you all survived, or you both survived, I should say, let's move on to the topic and actually talk about the game we just kind of talked about in a bit. So.
Please.
Hey, would you like a green Tauros badge? Well, you can have one. If you come over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PuclPodcast, we are going to be giving them out once we hit $850. We're going to be giving those to every patron at the $10 plus tier because we love you guys. We'd love to see this project made. Of course, if we hit any other thresholds on the way there, such as $800 for the week-long giveaways to the community, that would also happen as well. So, if you'd be interested in getting a green Tauros badge, feel free. Come on over. If you can't support the show, don't worry about it. You just listening is enough for us. So, until then, though, guys, I'm Thatch, and I'll catch you guys on the flip-flop.
And now, finally, to talk about our topic today, Pokemon Insurgence. It's a fun old fan game. I know me and Lynian played a bit on stream. I assume the VODs are gone by now, but you might have been there to watch a little bit of us having fun.
Mess around.
That was a time.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So, guys, just so you know, too, we are going to try to avoid some spoilers, but we are also not going to say this is entirely spoiler-free. So, be warned, if you really just don't want to know anything about the game, you might kind of want to just skim through.
But
if it's a plot twist, we're not going to spoil it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, we're not gonna spoil big spoilers at the end or anything like that. But there might be a couple of things that we talk about that might, depending on how sensitive you are to anything spoilerish.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the game takes place in the wonderful world of Tauren, where there are different Pokemon, evil cults, and a hero of the realm, which is known as the Augur.
Mm-hmm.
So, I believe there's there were 2 or 3 of them to start with, that have,
So it starts with the first Augur being dead, and then Jern, the second Augur, is showing up and swearing vengeance on these legendary worshipping cults. And that sets the tone for the entire plot.
I guess we should also have a little point into, this game can get dark.
Yeah.
Just in case, it doesn't have 2 modes to play on traditional, a less dark one and a dark one. Essentially, all it is if you're playing a dark, characters will die.
Certain ones do.
They will flat out tell you this character is dead or show you if that happens,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's
So basically, think Team Aqua, Team Magma type cults, but there's 5 of them, and they all have their own legendaries and
end
whatnot.
goals. Their end goals are actually fairly varied.
Yes, it varies entirely. So, like, they give actual character arcs to some of these to these cults.
Some of them work,
cults.
some of them don't.
Yes, some don't. But it's your standard, like, go collect the 8 gins, and then fight the Elite Four. But there's just a lot more evil teams and story built into the game than just, travel from town to town and beat the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that's my brief summary of the story. It goes in wild and crazy directions in various ways. Lots of plot twists. And you get to use and see a lot more of the legendary Pokemon than you would in a normal playthrough.
Yeah, it's also one of the few games, this is actually, this can be a challenging game. There's a lot of cool little aspects to it.
So, one of the things that I really enjoy, and I think this is my personal take on fan-made games, is you don't need to make new Pokemon.
Yes. That's my favorite thing.
I really like the fact that it's, these are your familiar Pokemon that you know that are just, a regional variant, basically, or a different form of it. Their version is all Delta forms. So it's
because this came out before Gen 7, actually. It at least started development. So regional form wasn't a thing, but the Holon cards were, the Delta cards. So they took that and ran with it, and they came out with some really cool designs out of it.
You get, I guess to spoil the starters, because it shouldn't be a starter, but, there's Delta Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle that are, Delta Bulbasaur is Psychic and Fairy, Delta Charmander is Ghost and Dragon, and Delta Squirtle is Dark and Fighting. So you have these entirely new, starter mons to play with. Or you can choose Eevee, I guess.
Yeah, or there's even actually a purist mode. You can just play with none of these Deltas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can just play the game without these in the game, if you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the fun part, though, is, seeing all these new mons in a different light than you have seen before.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like playing these two. It's here's a weird, mod. Some people don't like it. People, just want to play, I want to play with the original mod. I don't want to play with anything new.
And you can.
Yeah, there's, you can in this too. It's just, there are games for that too. It's just, I like playing something new and unique that I can't play anywhere else. If I want to play with this mod, I'll just go play, the game it's in,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And also with that too, there's a bunch of Deltas. There's also a whole slew of Megas too.
Oh, yeah. So, if you want to play with things just got new Megas, I believe all the second-gen Pokemon starters got, they got Megas. All the original Megas are still in the game.
Mega Marowak's a thing. Mega Reuniclus is a thing.
Mega Dunsparce is a thing.
Gunderton, the god.
Gunderton was Shamu's Mega... Oh, what's its name? Stunfisk. And it has special huge power.
Pretty much. They finally gave Flygon a Mega, which is really cool. I love Cacturn's Mega, by the way.
It looks very cool.
That's just my personal preference. Mega Chatot is a thing. There are a bunch of really cool Pokemon that got Megas, so it's you can choose to play this game however you want.
Mm-hmm. And the difficulty hits a sweet spot. Because it's not so hard that you feel like you have to grind and grind, or that you can't beat it with a reasonable team, you have to EV train or something. But it's also not, it's not as easy as a traditional Pokemon game. It felt fair.
Yeah, to even go more in depth on that too, because there's 3 modes. There's an easy, a normal, and then there's a hard. Easy is just basic, no items, except for Mega Stones and basic.
No, I think no EVs either.
Yeah, normal, I think they might have EVs, and they've got some competitive movesets, and, there's some strategy there. Hard mode, they have full, all items for, major fights, and, full-on strategies, and, even then, Harley, I never played Harley 4. I would imagine that is pain. Utter pain. Because...
And things go above the 100 level cap, too.
Yeah, they hit a level 120.
Yeah, you're capped at 102, beat the Elite Four. The whole post-game opens up and your level cap goes up by 20.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what that level cap is because it's really cool, what the post-game is because it's really cool. The post-game's very fun.
It lets you wrap up a bunch of stuff too, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where everything kind of just gets wrapped up and, you wrap up all the, extra storylines. It's a Delta episode, but a whole actual, thing.
Yeah, a large map.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Yeah, and I guess the thing too, even if it's harder, they give you your secret base, which is actually a major component to easy access. You have level trainers, the EV trainers. It costs money, but
that's easy. That's so much better than having to go grind on wild Pokemon. It's oh cool, I can fight a whole bunch of Audinos and level up in 5-10 minutes rather than having to go out and spend hours. I have to knowing this is my 800th Magikarp kill today.
If I need to add a new Pokemon, I can. Like, there's some other ones we played since this that are like, oh, you caught this new Pokemon you want to add onto your team? Well, it's gonna be like 5 levels lower for most of the game until like the very end. It might be like 2 levels lower because there's no easy way to grind it. This is like one of those things where it's just like, hey, you have a new Pokemon you want to use? Here, go at it. And you can just like rebuild stuff too if you really need to. It'd be good for Nuzlocke in that aspect because if you need to EV train.
Granted, Nuzlocking this is so difficult. As someone who did it, it is so hard. Like, it's one of those ones where like I had to prepare and build like a different team for each gym half the time, and it was just annoying.
It has an inbuilt Nuzlocke mode, by the way, so it won't let you revive things. It won't. The Pokemon Center will not revive you. And it will actually automatically end. It must allow you to nickname things. Like, it actually does most of the rules for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't, like, for anyone, like, for people that like to play with shiny claws, because it is easier to get shinies in this game, I purposely play with it off, just because if I get the shiny, I like to play with the shiny, and if it wasn't caught in the Nuzlocke, rules, you don't get to use it, which is sad.
Also, if you're playing on Nuzlocke, if you're playing a Nuzlocke on that thing, it allows you to buy Nuzlocke balls after you earn a badge, which have a 2.5 catch rate, and they're available in every Pokemart.
Yeah, so it makes it easier to catch stuff, which is really nice.
Yeah, because it's obviously like, oh, you got your encounter, you don't have to, like, try and, like, lose the encounter because you just couldn't catch it, because it's like you had, like, basic Pokeballs or something like that, and it's just a nice little thing to throw in there. And then,
exactly.
Like, even with the gym, like, think about the gyms, like, there's only one of them that I actually had trouble with, though. Like, thinking back on it, or at least only one I can remember having trouble with was the water one, just because rain.
Because, they're different, like, I think it goes beyond just a type of a gym. It's now, like,
a strategy.
A theme.
Yeah, the gyms are much more, like, a theme-based, like...
Yeah, they tend to be split over 2 types. Like, the first one's grass and fire, then bug and poison. And I don't want to get into the other ones, because that starts to get to, like, really spoilery territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're reasonably difficult. As you get more of your team and more better members, they start to get more reasonable. I will say there is a massive challenge spike on gyms 2 and 3 and 7. Other than that, it's actually a pretty smooth curve.
Yeah, like 2 is a big one just because that's when they reveal Mega Evolution. Like, that's how early it is.
Yeah.
I'll say that. At the very least, just so people are aware of that.
Not for the player, but...
Not for the player, no, but for the gym leader. They get Mega Evolution, and you can kind of put 2 and 2 together if you realize the type of the Mega aspect. But, yeah, that's like the hardest one for that aspect, that early on. But I think the hardest... I want to say this is it's a little spoilery, just so people are aware. There is a fight later in the game that is an inverse battle, and it is hard.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you are not prepared for that, oh, no.
I had a type calculator up because I couldn't do it all in my head.
Because, like, some of the gyms were a little challenging, but that was harder than all the gyms, I think, combined.
Yeah.
Just because of what they throw at you and stuff. Some of the stuff is just like, oh.
Well, that and, like, there are several just, like, gauntlets of, like, oh, you're gonna fight, like, these 2 bosses in a row, no break, good luck.
Yeah.
No healing, no nothing, or...
And, like, all 3 of us beat it. It's doable. It's just hard.
It's totally doable. Like, there are harder things that for, like, that's part of the main story you have to do it to finish the game type thing.
Yeah.
It is pretty hard. Like, there are harder challenges, like the battle like tower stuff that you have to do. Which you don't have to do it, but to get certain things, you need to do that.
But the other fun part is they did throw in maybe, like, 26-ish new moves or something like that? Like,
I
think a couple of just new moves to add to the game just for, for it to be fun.
Yeah, there's like, 26 new moves. Yeah, there's a bunch of just like, they also added physical hidden power, which is really, dumb.
Except weird. It's a custom move.
Well, it's called it's a custom move that it deals a type of damage you want to, like, whatever type you want to deal. So you can just have a physical ice type attack on anything.
Yeah, it's basically physical hidden power that you can choose what you want to do with.
Yeah, it's
70 power instead of 60, which is nice.
But also, it's shared across everything. So if you put this on 2 Pokemon, they will have the same type of coverage. It's not, like, selectable.
Yeah, you can't change it per Pokemon. You just select what type that move is in general, and whatever you teach it to, it's that type. And then you can change the type later on if you need coverage.
Yep.
It'd be good for things like,
Yes.
again, it'd be like a nice little Nuzlocke thing too. It's like, oh, I need this coverage and I really can't have this any other way. Sure, it helps out a bit.
Yeah, and as I said, like, they even added a new weather based off, like, darkness. It's new moon, I believe, or Noctum or something.
That sounds interesting to you. Take Delta Charmander as your starter.
So,
You'll be able to get it easily.
a nice thing to note too, because we talked about secret races a little bit earlier, because we get like the odd node trainers. There are flags, and there are so also sidetracking again, because it's part of this. Pokemon Insurgence has a wiki, and a very well done wiki, unlike other ROM hacks we've had to play.
Like the one we're playing next. Oh.
That was pain. That was pain.
I still have to finish it, but I'm good.
But yeah, this one has an actually well-developed wiki, and it has like a list of names for secret bases you can go to and get Pokemon after it's like the Friend Safari, I think, where like you get one or two to start, and after as you progress, you get more. But let's say you get a bunch of names and stuff, and you can get flags, and that's those flags are how you get the Stunfiskite and the Spiritomite. And Spiritomite with the new moon is good because it's one of those things where it's like you send it out as base, it has new moon or has Noctum. So it's that then it mega evolves to get Tough Claws. So you set it, and then you lose that ability to like abuse that like type thing. So you just hit hard with like Sucker Punch and like Shadow Claw and stuff like that on Spiritomb.
Yeah,
it's like one of the best mons for that like weather, just because like it sets it and then just abuses it without losing. Like it loses ability as it mega evolves, but like it is really good, and it does get used on you once or twice later on.
If anytime you look at a Pokemon and say, I have this really cool and unique strategy to abuse. No, you did not come up with it. The game developers did, and you will have to fight it.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, at some point.
Most of these, like, are in the game. Some of them I would wish were a bit better, like Noctowl.
See, like, I just wish a lot of the Deltamons weren't so late into the game. Yeah. I think half of them are, like, post-game.
They're like, half of them are in post-game, and then, like, a quarter of them are, like, essentially post-game anyways, but you have to go back and do stuff where you have to spend, like, you have to retreat and go back after you get certain, like, field moves with the Tesseract and stuff, like,
yeah, because
the Tesseract is the main part of, like, the puzzle solving of the game, is, like, getting this person's DNA so you can infiltrate this area, getting this move, or this DNA so you can use this, like, field move, or et cetera, like, a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but, like, you get to use some abilities of some fun legends to traverse the region. That's how I'll put it.
Yeah.
I know me and Lynian both played with essentially like all new mons. And
that's what I did pretty much too.
Only one I had was Stunfisk as Mega because it was just like, I wanted to use it and it was dumb.
Yeah. I know the first time I played through, I purposely grabbed Flygon because they made it more special based. And they gave it a Mega and another type of form, which I'm not gonna...
And they gave it a unique move as well.
Yeah.
For things.
So let's say there's some held items that change Pokemon. We'll let you discover that for your own. I think it's fourth gym. The fourth gym city is where you get them, or get access to them
I think it's about there.
Fourth or fifth or something like that,
Yeah. Whichever one I won't say the type, actually.
Yeah. So I do want to, we've been trying to stay fairly spoiler-free. I do want to ask everyone to go over their favorite party member by the end of the story mode.
Gunderton.
The Mega Stunfisk.
Gunderton the God. That thing it had its downsides, but at the same time, that thing was dumb. It's like, yes, I see you. I'm a little slower. Okay, I take a hit and I just kill you. Goodbye.
So, I've played through it twice. On the first time I played through it, it was Delta Vespiquen. That thing is just so incredibly good.
I had that thing on my team at the end too, this one. Like, it is Heat Tramp with
Fire
Levitate.
Steel with Levitate. I hate it.
Heat Tramp with Levitate. It's dumb.
Yeah, Heat Tramp with Levitate. Yeah, except it's, a Vespiquen stats. But the second time that I played through it, I really liked, what was it? Where's my boy? I'm trying to look through the list of the members because I don't have the game in front of me. Where'd it go?
While you're looking, I'll go. There are a lot that I've liked. I loved my team across the board, but it has to go out to my boy Delta Muck.
Delta Muck was good.
Oh, that thing is funny as hell. I love that thing.
This Pokemon let me cheese more fights than I should have been able to win. It gets an ability called Regurgitation, where you get a random type that after you attack, you basically deal fixed % damage based on the type effectiveness of a random type, whether it's like grass, water, fire, dragon, or whatever. And if they're weak to it...
Water, grass, fire, dark, normal, or psychic.
Yeah, so based on... things effectiveness to that, you get extra chip damage. The thing is, though, it works way better than it has any right to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on multiple times, I'd be able to deal like 5% damage because something would have it. And then regurgitation would trigger, and then I'd deal like 12. And I cheesed a lot of fights.
Regurgitation does 1/6. 1/6 of the target's maximum HP, and then multiplied by the effectiveness. So it's a lot already.
Positively or negatively. You can deal half of someone's HP if it's quad super effective. And I got grass, so there were multiple times where I would hit something and then just wipe the rest of its health. Delta Muck is a ground type. Also, what made me cackle, I was fighting some things, and I would routinely pop Sturdy and then kill it with regurgitation. Dumbest ability, and I love it to death. The Pokemon is just okay other than that.
The mon that carried me on my last playthrough was Delta Chandelure. Like, Fairy Fire is such a fun, such a good typing, and I really wish we had one. But, like, it just worked so incredibly well. Like, oh, it's Chandelure stats, but, give it Moonblast.
Yeah,
Give
like,
it flame
there's a bunch of these I really
still.
like. There's 4 of these I really want to talk about, but I won't, because they are, like, spoilery for the post-game. Like, let's just say there are 4 mods that are meant just for me, and that should be enough for people to figure out if people are aware.
I know the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you guys know it, but, like, I'm so happy they're in this game.
Because I ran through with one of the variants of Metagross, and it was dumb.
Oh, I ended up, I think I used one of the post-game for, like, clearing challenges and stuff.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I want to talk about a lot of these. I just don't want to go too much in.
And spoil the experience for someone who hasn't played
The
this.
other really fun one that I would say if you had a chance to look at was Delta Apom being Ghost Normal.
Yeah, that one you can get really early on, too. You just need to have a honey, I think, is the thing. So if you get a honey and you want it, you need to save it.
I will say this game is best played with the wiki open in another tab.
Yeah.
Because they've hidden so much everywhere. It's very easy to think that there's nothing in the game because you're not looking in the way the developers thought you would.
There are a lot of, like, things just in the game, like, hey, here's someone who does, like, again, there's a bunch of TMs. You gotta think the TMs do, like, a lot of them are hidden behind, like, certain quest lines, like, hey, talk to this trainer, do this, 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 and this, and then there you go.
There's also a lot more TMs.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in this game, and I don't even know how much time we're on. Let me see if I can pop it open real quick.
I'll give you I'll give a fairly spoiler-free example. So to get Delta Axew, you need to talk to a random sailor who's like, hey, come to this map. Fight your way through all of these pirates, and then you get it at the end.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to miss that. And it's a fun side quest, but,
And that's the thing, is there are a lot of fun side quests. That's how you get Delta Grimer. It's sort of a side quest, technically.
Yeah.
So, like, there's so many ways. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you want to play the game, I actually, like, you have 2 choices. You can either play it, like, blind and just see what comes up and go that way. Or, like, what I preferred to do was go look at all the new forms of the new Pokemon Megas, like, I want to use these, and find out how you can get them before the Elite Four. And I think we'll give you a team that would be fun to play with.
And we'll do our best to have it be relatively story mode friendly. Like, you'll be able to get these Pokemon as you go along.
Yeah, because there are so many of these that are just fun to use and just solid enough, and I guess also too, like, I guess for playing through it, there are hidden grottos. Hidden grottos did come back in this.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have deltas, some of them just have rarer Pokemon like starters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, and they do reset daily, I believe. But at least you can save in front of them and then just, like, run in and see what it is. You don't like it, reload. There's a lot of things you can do some weird save abuse with, like I had to. Doing the battle tower, I had to save abuse, because that is hard as hell. You have to win like 50 matches in a row. It is not easy.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I knew what they had and what they were going to do.
Shamu 100%ed the game. It's
Well, yeah. I completed the decks. I did everything. I got all the TMs, like, don't think I've got every, like, held item exactly, but, like, I got pretty much everything that would be considered, like, a collectible.
Mm-hmm.
I only missed 2 Mega Stones, being there is a gacha in Sonata City, I believe it is, one of the gym cities. That is, like, a daily gacha, and it can get you 2 Mega Stones and some other stuff, and it's just, like, I can't sit there.
It's not daily, but, yeah, it's not
Well, it's
fun.
not daily. It's like 20 minutes or, like, so many steps, and it's just
20 minutes and so many steps.
Is it? Okay, yeah. It's just, like...
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's just too much. I say we're probably coming close to time, so I think we should each give our totally official and not something I'm making up, our ratings out of 5, and then our best, our favorite thing about the game, and our least favorite thing about the game.
I'm gonna say from what other things I've played so far, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite fan games. It's I would probably go 4.5 out of 5, just because there's a couple little things I wish were different, but that's just because I don't do a lot of post game. I don't do a lot of post game, so I missed a lot of it. But it's a 4.5 out of 5. It's so much fun.
For me, I will say this is a solid 5. I think 5 to me, 5 just means the best attainable thing, right? This is the best. I've played better games by far. I've played some fan games that I've had more fun with, but I also think this is probably just better. At no point did I think it was unfair. I've thought about coming back just because there's so many different ways to play it. It's just really well done.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of options to do with, which is really nice. Hey, you want to play with this? You have a lot of options to start off with. And even, again, with the built-in Nuzlocke node, it has it all for you and stuff like that. It does a lot. I've been in development for a long time, because again, it came out before.
I think it's done. I think it's done developing.
Yeah, the development has wrapped.
Oh yeah, development is done, but the fact that it was I don't know when it's finished exactly, but the fact that it's this was being made for a long time. Even I remember being in high school and this was people were playing this. So it's been at least 5+ years,
All right, and let's go a round of bests and worsts here.
Best thing, I can drop them on. Or not even drop them on, but I can just I want to add a new party member. I can do so at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, it's not going to be a detriment to you.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that was my biggest thing with some of the other ones we've played so far. I'll just name two being Xenoverse and Unbound. It's hard to just Unbound has a mechanic, but the mechanic is terrible. And Xenoverse, it just doesn't have one. And it's just I want to add a new mod. I just can't. I have to struggle with it for multiple cities or towns and such. It's just pain. And I just with this one, I can go into my secret base. Boom. Done.
For me, I think the best thing about it is, I wouldn't say the story is great, but I will say the story is really fun. There were multiple characters who months later I still remember the names of and their arcs, and that's not something I can say of several mainline Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Ucene. I mean, I do, but it's because of repetition at this point. That made no impact on me. Where, I mean, a lot of the characters here, it's not a perfect game by any stretch. The story suffers from not being tonally consistent. There are multiple scenes that should be very dramatic that are played for comedy, and it doesn't always work. But it's like reading really good fanfic. There's someone who's really putting a lot of work into it, and it's very enjoyable, even if it's not, technically the best.
Yeah. I like all the different forms. I think that was my favorite part of the game, was being able to see and experience all the different Pokemon that I know and love in a different light. I didn't like the story as much. There are some things in my mind that were just very cringe, and I'm like,
oh, there was cringe.
Oh yeah, there's definitely cringe in the game. The first line of the game that I remember still was oh no. I see what we're dealing with here.
It's that, and the main thing is I love all the Pokemon. I just wish they weren't half of them are locked behind the post game.
So that would be your worst.
That's my worst, is the fact that I can't get everyone that I want to use, because I see some things and I'm like, this looks so cool, I want to play with it. Oh, I have to beat the game first? That's not nearly as much fun as playing through the original game with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still so much you can do in the main game. It's just different.
Yeah. These aren't necessarily deal breakers. It's just the worst part.
Can I try to think of my word? I think some of the it's one of the things. Some of the challenges in the post game and stuff are hard, but they're not outrageously hard. Which I'm glad they aren't outrageously hard. But sometimes I feel they're a little too much. I get it. They wanted to have a challenge. It's just hard to I'm trying to think of things that I had issues with, and really it was because again, so the Elite Four too is they do hey, here's a bunch of rules to follow, and there's rewards for we mentioned too during trivia. There is a reward for going through the Elite Four without was it losing? I don't remember what
Without
exactly.
having anyone faint, but you have to do it like 5 times, and it's not easy, and you cannot just overlevel it.
Yeah, you can't overlevel because they scale. But it's not like it's for not through the whole Elite 4 or 5 times. It's for you have to do Elite 4. You have to beat 5 trainers essentially without losing any mons and without healing in battle and stuff like that. And it's hard. And the reward is like, oh, here's the reward. It's a fun reward. I just wish those. You want to know what? I wish those Pokemon Mega evolved. Damn it.
Yeah.
They give you a Gardevoir and a Lucario, and they're just like, here's the red Lucario and Gardevoir. You can't evolve them.
Yeah. For me, I think my least favorite thing is the reliance on the secret base to smooth out a jank difficulty curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a method there, but at least, how I see it's like, yeah, it's not the best method, but at least there is a method compared.
Right, like,
I think
it's a crutch mechanic that I wish I didn't feel like was mandatory, is all. You could get through the game without doing it, and you probably, it wouldn't be too bad, but some of the time, like, the difficulty spikes, and it's okay, I just need to go and grind in my secret base for a minute. And sure, it's only like 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes where I'm looking at the same little map, and I'm not exploring a fairly, pretty game that, was enjoyable to spend time in. I like the Tauren region, but there were a lot of times where the answer was just, I'm too low leveled because I haven't battled every trainer, but now if I beat those trainers, I'm too high leveled and Gen 5 scaling experience means it's not worth it. I guess I'll go kill some Audino for a while. And it's a functional solution, I just wish there was a better solution.
I agree.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a better one, but here, my thought of it was, just like, we've played worse ROMs now.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like, I'd rather have this than not have this, Because, like,
Again, it's the worst part of a great ROM hack.
So, like, every time I go on an airplane, like, I don't always, like, if I'm not, like, falling asleep immediately, I'm playing some Pokemon ROM hack on my phone to, like, just pass the time. And I've gone through so many of them, and this is up there as one of the better ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you want fan Pokemon.
Yeah.
If you don't want, like, fan-made stuff, there's plenty of others we can recommend, but...
Might be one of the ones we do in the future, not the next one. Because the next one, I'll say now.
The next
one we're talking about is Pokemon Xenoverse, and why I've mentioned it once or twice. That's the one we'll be doing in October, I will say, ahead of time. It's not, it's fine. It's not. We'll rip on it more when that comes out. I have some choice words for that game.
There are some decisions, but we'll talk about it then. I feel like I'm the one who likes it the most.
That one we are much more polar on, because I'm really enjoying parts of it and hating other parts that I think you like and I don't like, and it's gonna be fun.
I went out of my way to complete Insurgence because it let me and it was nice about it. I dropped Insurgence after I beat the game. And so we'll talk about that thing when it comes around, because that one technically it's not even actually, the game isn't finished, which explains stuff, but we're good. Let's not. Do you have any other final notes on Insurgence?
So our final score out of 15 is 14 and a half.
Yeah.
So that is a hearty recommend, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for me to give a full 5 out of 5 for a game, but we'll see in the future.
Yeah, fair enough.
I really enjoyed Insurgence, though. I had a blast.
Yeah, there's very little, as you heard, there's little bad about it. There's stuff that isn't as good, but there's nothing that's terrible.
No, like, in my mind, there was nothing bad about it. It was like, I wish it could have been more optimized for my personal playing style.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's pretty much it.
I guess with that, we'll move on to the poke of the episode then, huh?
The episode.
Alright, and we've spent a little bit of time and made especially a fun story playthrough, I guess, team for Insurgents, with trying to feature some of the new stuff that they have. Some of the stuff was stuff we also ran through too, and it works fairly well. We've played with them for a bit. You want to go over the team, Claude? Because I don't remember everything already.
Okay, so we came up with a fun little team that we'll talk about, but the poke of the episode is our Delta... Sorry, yeah, it is our Delta Haxorus. It is a water steel type. Its Pokedex entry states, its dorsal fin fuses with an anchor during evolution. Though it loses its ability to quickly navigate through water, it becomes a very fearsome foe on land. It's one of the Delta Pokemon. Yeah, it's a water steel type, one of the few of those in the entire Pokemon game like Empoleon. Extremely fun to play with in game because there's not a lot of Delta water types, and I like having a water type on my team all the time. But it's a super solid mon. So we have that. It's a physical attacker. You're gonna want to, like, it gets fun moves like Bullet Punch, Heavy Slam, Aqua Tail. Like, it can do everything you need it to do as far as, a water type.
It does get biting and fang moves, and it gets strong jaw, so you can use it with that. And if you somehow, I think they're I don't remember how you do hidden
Heavy Slam,
abilities.
Heavy Metal.
Yeah. Heavy Metal is a hidden ability, and I know you can get it. I don't remember the way. It's been a while.
I ran through with Crunch and Ice Fang. I ran through a Strong Jaw, so like Heavy Slam, a Strong Water move, Crunch and Ice Fang, and that coverage was just fantastic.
I know when I ran through it, I ran with either, I think, Aqua Jet and Bullet Punch, just because I wanted priority, or at least one of them.
It's 147 base attack anyway, so yeah, you're getting, like, that priority on that is just good.
Yeah, it was a priority move. I think I had Waterfall, Heavy Slam, and then just coverage other option that I needed per fight.
Yeah, and even then, like, okay, its ability is Strong Jaw or Water Veil is its basic, so you can just say, oh, I don't want to be burned. If you're doing, like, not fighting moves, you can just go Water Veil and just be burned free, which is good to have, honestly. Or then if you want Heavy Metal, or you want to use like, Heavy Slam, Heavy Metal exists, because its weight is, 465, which is not bad. So doubling that is, like, yeah. So it's got some hefty weight to it, and its move pool is, like, again, it's solid. Like, water, and it learns coverage by level up. You actually get Poison Fang, too, if you want to have fun with that.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of fairies in the game, so it's not a terrible idea, because you already have Steel moves.
You do get access to Earthquake, Dragon Claw, like, Rock...
Now, and the reason why this is the poke of the episode, and the other member of the team, is you can pick any of the starters. We've built this little team based on whatever starter you want to pick. We'll cover up a bunch of other weaknesses, and it works really well, because it all depends on which starter you really want, because the other mon will use, like, they're all pretty much special attackers between Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. So Delta Venusaur is a Psychic Fairy type if you want to use that. Delta Charizard is Ghost and Dragon, and Delta Blastoise is Dark and Fighting. They all get their own separate Mega Evolution in the game. So, like, there is so much fun that you can have with these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, pick whichever one you want. If you want more fat, Delta Venusaur can stall and set up on, like, most of the bosses and make it very easy.
Venusaur gets, like, the stalling tool that Venusaur does, but also just with Psychic and Fairy, like, you don't get Giga Drain, but you do get Draining Kiss, which does give you more than Giga Drain, health back.
I will say, if you are going to Nuzlocke the game, take Delta Venusaur.
Yes.
Like, it's one of the few, like, really useful ones.
By level 20, you've got, like, because you get Leech Seed, like, immediately. You get, like, okay, like...
Think Leech Seed, Calm Mind, Moon Blast.
Yeah, like...
Psychic or something like that. And, like, you're set
and
for
then,
a while.
And the Mega, I gotta cover their abilities real quick, too. Delta Venusaur is they all have the basic ability of, like, Torrent, Blaze, and all that, but for, like, Psychic, Ghost, and Dark.
It's Psychic, Dragon, and...
No, Spirit is Ghost, I think.
Oh, it's Ghost, rather. Yeah.
Okay, so Psychic, Ghost, and Dark, essentially, instead of the basic Torrents. And then, Venusaur's hidden ability is Regenerator, and its Mega is Hubris, which is just Special Moxie. Because again, you gotta see, there are a lot of new abilities in this game too, which are another thing to look into if you want to, like, see some stuff. And go like, oh, look at that ability, I want to use that ability, and there you go, and you can kind of build around that
Delta
too.
Charizard gets Noctum.
Which sets the new
Mega
weather.
Delta Charizard. Yep, which sets the new Dark Weather. And then Blastoise, I believe, is still...
It's still Mega Launcher, but now you've got Stab, Dark Pulse, and Aura Sphere.
Which is nuts. Like, absolutely nuts. And you get Focus Blast, which I think gets boosted off of it, too.
Yeah, and I guess to also talk about the hidden abilities, too, because Delta Blastoise gets Shadow Dance as a hidden ability, which is essentially just the New Moon... Swift Swim for New Moon.
This is Swift Swim for Dark, yeah.
Yeah, and then Charizard gets Dark Aura, which is just hit a volatile ability, so it's
Dark
just...
Aura.
Yeah.
Boost
Dark
types.
stronger.
Which is not great on a Ghost type.
Not really,
and
but it's more about...
Generator, which is, like, dumb.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But they're still all very fine Pokemon with just like...
Yeah, so basically pick your favorite starter, and then Delta Haxorus is our Poke of the episode that we recommend using because it's a super good mon.
Yeah, Water Steel is super strong. Like...
And another early game, Delta variant, because we did try to pick this mostly, or with Pokemon that are very different in this game to give you kind of a chance to use them in a remixed setting. Another very early game one is Delta Ralts. You're able to get this, I think, basically after the first gym.
I think it's first or second.
Yeah.
I want to say it's first.
like
It's very soon.
it's really early on. And the thing about Delta Ralts is it is ice electric, and its stats are the same as Gardevoir and Gallade, both of which have corresponding megas. So if you want physical, go Delta Gallade. If you want special, go Delta Gardevoir. Bolt Beam is stupid coverage.
It is. And you'll get it by level 53. You get Ice Beam at 40, Thunderbolt at 53 as a Gardevoir. You might get it earlier the Corellia. Not sure.
Yeah, and Delta Gallade will be able to, as soon as you can get Gallade, you can get it Thunder Punch and Ice Punch with other options available.
A little after. It learns Ice Punch at 39 and Thunder Punch at 45, but even then...
Yes, but at the time that you get it, you can get those in another way. I just don't remember what it is. But it has really solid other moves like Nuzzle, Ice Shard.
You get Wild Charge and Ice Crash later on for more risky but higher damage physical attacks for your coverage. You also still get pre-learned moves of Leaf Blade and Night Slash.
Yep.
Which is nice to have.
I ran Gardevoir in my run through, and I gave it a Choice Scarf because you can buy those pretty easily. I got a Choice Scarf, and I gave it Ice. It was Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and I think it was Dazzling Gleam. But my last move was Nuzzle, because with the Choice Scarf, I could outspeed whatever I needed to and paralyze it, which for some of the difficult bosses was the difference between life and death.
Yep.
It does get moved by pre-learned though as well, so that's an option. And then even with and the other thing with choice items too, you can get choice items kind of easily in the game. I think towards the second half, there's people you can just flat out buy them from. They're 5,000, I think, or maybe even cheaper.
No, they're 100. They're just straight up 100.
There's some stuff that's really cheap, you can buy the choice items for super cheap. And just oh, cool, I need to have a bunch of choice bands, cool. Need a choice scarves, cool.
Life orbs are also pretty easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, they give you a lot of the battle-ready items for fairly cheap.
Yeah. So, the other Delta that I used and I'm here to talk to you about today is Delta Bisharp, which is Flying Fighting. Now, the two abilities that you can get naturally are Frisk or Defiant. Defiant's the one you want to go for. If you can get a hidden ability one through some other means, it gets Wind Force, which gives it a flying immunity, which is it's a flying immunity, and when you get hit by a flying move, you gain a speed stage.
It's like Motor Drive, but for flying.
Yes, which is such a good ability.
And it gets rid of a weakness too, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just it's super strong with that.
It's got really good defense, really good attack, and reasonable speed. It's not fast, it's not slow, but if you Mega Evolve it into a giant winged centaur, I don't need to say anything else because that's the coolest sentence you're ever going to hear. You get 145 attack, 130 defense, and 105 speed. With Technician as the ability. So you just run Aerial Ace, you run Power Up Punch, you run High Jump Kick. If you are not running it Mega, you can instead run Acrobatics and just wail on things.
You just have you can even just have Acrobatics on there anyways, and in case you just want to, just so you don't have to keep swapping the moves back and forth, just have Acrobatics, and if you do Mega, you Mega, and you still get the Technician boost.
Yep.
It's a little less damage, sure, but it's hey, if I just need to be able to swap back and forth, this move is good enough.
You also have Stab, Technician, Mach Punch, as well as Thunder Punch by Move Relearner.
And you learn Blaze Kick by level.
Yeah, so this thing has, really good coverage. It just doesn't get, Dark. Dark would almost make it perfect, but it's really so good. It's hard to complain.
It can learn Knockoff.
Perfect.
It needs tutoring, but there are tutors around the world, but
and they just
some
tutor
are
it for free. Yep.
Yeah, it's just, you gotta find them though, and some of them just are harder to find. I don't remember where Dark is, because they are all by type, or by strategy, or by status move, punching move, again. Knockoff might be endgame.
Yeah, it is. But basically, pick moves, and then this Delta Bisharp will wail on things. I think there's an item that you can use to give things their hidden ability.
I believe there is. I just don't remember where or what it is.
What? Exactly.
It might be very limited, too.
Oh, no, it's a gotcha result. That's what it is.
Right. I think you get one or two for free, but like again, you gotta find them and stuff. And
No, I don't think it's not an item. It's just in the gacha. So it's
there might be, but that's something for you to figure out.
yeah, well,
Yep.
It's been a while, and you just look up yourself if you really want. But on to the next Pokemon. We already had something that can kind of work with darkness, so why not have another that does with the Delta Roserade, which is a dark fairy type. It can either have Shadow Dance or Heliophobia, which are both like new moon abilities. One being just against Swift Swim. We've seen Shadow Dance on Blastoise as a hidden. And Heliophobia, which heals it. It's is it more like, what is it exactly like?
It's like a rain dish.
no, it's not rain dish. It's dry skin.
It's like dry skin, but a bit differently. So in harsh sunlight, you will lose 1/8 of your maximum hit points at each turn. During intense darkness, it will regain 1/8 instead. So in darkness you regain, in sun you lose. So it's not bad, and it's got a hidden ability of Limber, which is better for general use. But if you're using like what's it called? Using Charizard.
If you're using
with
Delta Charizard, I would just hope for Shadow Dance and go nuts.
Yeah, because then you just get Swift Swim, or even then cool Heliophobia. It still works, but it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
But even in case if you don't have Charizard and you went with Blastoise, this does learn New Moon by level, and so you can just use this instead and just set up the New Moon yourself manually if you have to. And I played with this one in my run, and it is solid enough. Give it a Choice Scarf, and it's a Roserade with a Choice Scarf. It's solid enough, and you get Moonblast and Dark Pulse fairly early on. You do get and you also get some Fair Air flying coverage like Air Slash, and later on you get Hurricane. So Dark Fairy plus flying is very nice.
Yeah,
and
there's also the new Dark Solar Beam, which you can use if you're using it right. It's great.
And you can also just give it it learns Sludge Bomb by TM, so you can just kind of have fairy coverage, because you are weak to fairies still, being a dark fairy. And it is later in the game. This one it's not like
a little
super
bit.
early.
It's like mid-game.
It's like mid game via like gym badges. So it's
And you're also able to pick up Thunderbolt and Psychic on this thing. So it's got coverage.
It has all the coverage you need, so it's just a matter of, alright, it's just a good special attacker.
Yeah, you get enough coverage. You can give it Energy Ball, you can give it Thunderbolt, you can give it Sludge Bomb, Psychic. If whatever, what I did, I essentially had just Dual Stab plus Hurricane or Flying or Air Slash, and just went with that until I need to change it or whatnot. It's just solid. And you learn some other moves too by Tutor too, but not all of them are the most useful. You get Heat Wave is actually a reasonable one if you need it. But and then for our last mod, the only non-Delta is Flygon. You always wanted a Mega Flygon, so here you go. So a lot of the team too has multiple Megas too, so you can just if you don't want to you can Mega this or Mega that, or Flygon, you can also Mega Evolve, which is honestly strong. It gains its special attack goes up to 140 and it gets a 120 speed stat with the ability Amplifier, which boosts sound type moves by 1.25, never mind, 1.25.
Otherwise, it would be broken.
Yeah, so you have Bug Buzz, which is sound. You can get Boom Burst. There's a new dragon.
There's a Dracon Voice and Ancient Roar. Dracon Voice being an inaccurate dragon type move, but with
and Ancient Roar being a rock type sound type.
Yeah. With Dracon Voice and 105 base power, 85 accuracy, Ancient Roar is rock with 80 special attack, or with 80 power and 100 accuracy, and it's just more coverage for it.
Flygon also gets another fun form in the game, but we're not going to spoil for you now, but if you decide, I want to Mega something else for this fight, you can give it this item instead.
Just to reiterate too, Mega Flygon is a Bug Dragon, so you lose Ground Stab, but you do gain Bug Buzz Stab, which it does learn by level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bug Buzz, Amplifier, 140 base special attack.
Yeah. The other form is normal Flygon. It's just, its stats change a little bit. So
it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. But yeah, you can use Flygon for offensive pressure and, I did run with this myself. I ended up dropping it just because I was using my Stunfisk as my primary Mega, and the other form was fine, but it wasn't as... It fell off after a bit, and other things that were kind of cooler too, and just it happens. So it's just one of those things. It is a good those stats are very strong too. Just and you get enough coverage. Bug is very good later in the game. There is a chunk of dark, so there are some. It's a fun mod, and you can finally use that Mega Flygon you always dreamed of.
Yeah. So this is our team. If you want to play through the game and want to have some fun mods to play with, this is what we recommend.
Yeah. Picking up all of these Pokemon should get you through the game, but you might need temporary crutch characters in the early game just to get through until you can catch more Pokemon, because the game doesn't start easy.
Again, you can always swap stuff out too with what you want. Cause again, most of the stuff you'll get by the fourth, by around where the fourth gym is, if not a little later. And again, like, if you find something like, oh, I want to play with this instead, play with that instead, you know? It allows you to play with some other things and test some other mods out in that meanwhile. And maybe, again, you don't have to go with this. This is just kind of what we've cobbled together from what we've seen, and it's fairly early-ish, and also what we've seen and knows works fairly well. So, I guess with that, we shall, move on to the mailbag, eh?
Yeah.
Mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Alright, and welcome back to the mailbag. We've selected a couple emails to read for all y'all, and, I'll start here with one from Hootku. What is up, my Pika crew? This is the Pika Woo! For anyone who didn't get the reference, Pika Woo was a YouTube channel to watch for Wi-Fi battles during Gen 4. I remember that, actually. During Gen 4, and that was the beginning of my competitive career. Well, I was still in elementary school during that time. I remember playing Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, using Action Replay to get all the Gen 4 legendaries to level 100, feeding them vitamins, and battling my cousin with the same mirror teams over and over again. And that's when I discovered the Peekaboo channel and started learning all the staples of the competitive game.
I did the same thing, but I remember watching Magnitude and, was it The Flaming Spade? If that's a name that rings any bells, or Wild Chase?
Those ones I remember Peekaboo, like, barely. It's like a flash, like, oh, I remember that name. Like...
The Killer Nacho was another one I remember watching a lot of.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
That's what I got into, too. Like, my main start was, like, just trying to, like, figure stuff out, and I just watch, and I'm like, okay, this is what's good, this is what you do, okay, cool, and it just kind of flipped the switch. And now I just don't care anymore myself about competitive, but... On with the email, though. I think Gen 4 is when battling became much more accessible, with the obvious addition of physical special split, but also with more fun moves like Stealth Rocket and U-Turn, items like Choice Back Scarf and Focus Sash, and of course, more great new Pokemon and evolutions to use. Like, who didn't want to use the almighty Licky Licky? Like...
Me.
Wow. Licky Licky's great, what are you talking about? Free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Haha. Personally, I miss not having team preview. While it wasn't completely balanced, I liked the feeling of having a secret ace in my roster, leading with Ambipom that fake out and U-turn right away. What about you? Are there any memories you have from Gen 4 competitive, favorite sets of or Pokemon? Anything that comes to mind? Thanks for all your hard work, Hootku.
So my favorite memory of Gen 4, and this will always be my favorite memory, was I entered into the Killer Nachos monocolor tournament. Played him in round 2, won that match, and had got a whole bunch of people following my tiny YouTube channel at the time that doesn't exist anymore. But he had a whole video on it, and it was I won off of a crit ice shard on a Politoed. And it was a great memory of my mind. I'm this is it. I've made it. I'm a competitive battler. I beat someone who was good. I am good. And that was alright, cool. This is where I knew I had a future in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And here I am now.
I kind of think I had the same aspect. Mine was more Gen 5. Because I started my first competitive team was Trick Room. And that's why I really like Trick Room. It's just a fun time. And I just remember old PUCL days when the PUCL block was a thing. People who know that are possibly cringing. I know Thatch is probably cringing thinking about it. I remember I think battles. It was someone on stream. I don't remember who it was. But I good old PO days too, Pokemon Online. And just remember bringing Trick Room and just it was everything went perfect. I'm wow. I was excited. Damn.
You want to talk old days? Remember Shoddy Battle?
Shoddy Battle. I never played Shoddy Battle. I played Pokemon. I was not that old to that point, or not that
That was I think Gen 4.
Yeah.
Before we had anything.
My competitive stuff started in Gen 5. I didn't get to didn't start in Gen 4, unfortunately, really. But yeah, that was the one time wow, this worked, and I want to make this team now, and then other things happened, and I don't have that team because people took mods from me. So, good memories, right? Yeah. But, that was my one thing, just my Trick Room's kind of dear to me, though, still. Just that was my first competitive team, and it just worked. What about you, Lynian? Any competitive Gen 4 or, early memories?
I was 12.
So, no.
So, my experience with Gen 4 was one of the first generations I was paying attention to Cerebi when it was coming out in Japan. So, I was fascinated by all the stuff that would be coming in months and knew all of the gym leaders and things.
So, then you missed the old days of... I remember when Emerald came out. I'm gonna go back even further. And I had, the tin for Emerald, and I was like, if you pre-ordered it, you got this tin, and it gave you, like, an online, like, website to go to this forum to talk with other people about Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, yeah,
I remember
I have that
posting on
tin.
this forum,
Yeah.
like, about, like, I'm so excited for this. And, like, this is me, like, back in, like, elementary, middle school, being like, I'm super excited for this, and, like, talking to people, and, like, looking back and be like, these are the same, like, young kids, like, acting the same way now. And I'm like, oh, gosh. I feel bad because I was that cringy when I was a child.
Yeah, for reference, I was 9 when this game came out.
Gosh.
I remember that. I had that Emerald tin, like, right next to me, actually. Like, I still have that thing and some of the stuff that came in it somewhere. There we go. Who do we have the next email from?
So the next that we have is from Kester. Hi there, Kester here. It's been a few months since I've written in, and I hope you all are well. I am, thank you. I remember one sunny summer day when I was on holiday with my parents. I walked into a game store, and in the center was a display with Pokemon Platinum on offer. I begged my parents to buy it for me, and they relented. They had forbidden me from bringing my DS on holiday, so I spent many hours studying every detail of the case, playing with the Giratina toy that came with it. Eventually, I got home and began playing. I was totally enraptured and sunk many hundreds of hours into it. I had a special difficulty getting to gym number 8, although I can't for the life of me remember why. 8 was the electric gym.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if there's any difficulty getting to it. Like, I remember being more difficult getting to 7 being Snow Point, and not knowing where to go, but...
It might have been might have not found Volkner or something like that. I think you have to find Volkner and talk to him or something and do some little side talk thing. That might be
you had to find him beforehand because he's like, I'm bored. Like, no one's here to really give me a challenge type thing. But
I'm moody. I'm angsty. There we go.
Yeah. Anyways, I'd love to go on all day about different things I've gotten into in that game, but I'm sure the email is long enough. Best wishes, Kester.
Hey.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for running.
All right, Lynian, you're up.
Yeah. Hi, PUCL people. I'm pretty new to the Discord and the podcast in general, but the mailbag question stirred up some memories for me, so I thought I'd share it with you. As a 30-year-old, I vividly remember the schoolyard insanity that was Gen 1. Pokemon cards being traded at recess like it was the most secret black market in the world, just so teachers wouldn't tell us to keep our toys and games in homes. Also, sitting in our carpeted garage/playroom with the neighbor boys and using a Dragonite card to battle when we had no clue what we were doing. Smash cut to 2021, and I still have no clue about competitive Pokemon, but I'm enjoying it just as much in my adulthood as childhood. I also remember the stress of those first Link cable trades and the shock of getting a Gengar instead of a Haunter. What?
I couldn't imagine that, because that's the one thing I've known for the time. Like, I couldn't just think of, like, oh yeah, I traded something, and it's like, it's not what you traded, and it's like, what? That's the shock, like, I don't think I've ever had that. That would be kind of, like, I can't imagine the amount of shock that would be, Like, that's kind of...
Yeah. The closest thing was I took a bit of a break between Black and White 2 and anything involving, like, Pokemon until right before ORAS came out. I picked up a copy of Pokemon Y just to see, if the game had gotten any better in the transition to 3D, right? So I had missed all of the news and all of the features in it. So I'm getting in, and I've got my Fennekin, and I'm running in, and I run into this weird looking grass type called Flabébé. And clearly it's a grass type because it's like floating on a flower. So I click Ember, and it's neutral, and I'm like, what other type could this thing be? Whatever. And then it uses Fairy Wind, which is a very weird name for a grass move, but my fire type resisted it, so like clearly I had it right. I knock the thing out, and I move on to the end of the route, and the scientist is like, hey, did you run into a Flabébé? That's a new type! Fairy! And I went, what? What is this? I had to go back and catch one, and then look up what a fairy type was.
Gosh.
I was like, that's a weird water grass type. Like,
Well, what is this dragon type doing? It's a fairy. It's a flower.
So, to finish out his email, unrelated, in listening back to old episodes, I have to say that you have found a very good format for the Poke Quiz at last. It was a bit hectic there for a while, but having set Dex entry, base stat, and general questions makes it easy to follow and play along. I'm so sorry for what we did to you this week.
No, you're not, because those trivia questions are for next week.
Just in general, I want to say thank you for expanding my love of Pokemon and teaching me something new every week. I'm always eagerly awaiting the new episode, all the way down here in New South Wales, Australia. Thanks again, Matters Cat.
So, do we think anyone got the Green Tauros badge? I forgot about it. I don't care about the Green Tauros badge usually, so that's why I just kind of blanked it out.
The first person got y'all talking, so like I feel like
yes, I would give it to Huiku.
Yeah. All right.
Let me go find him and give it to him.
Does he even have it? He might have it. I don't know if he had it this year.
If he doesn't, I'll go find him.
Find out if he had it real quick, and then if he does,
yeah.
He hasn't. He doesn't have it. He's getting it.
Oh, we never said what the topic is for emails this week. The topic for emails this week.
Well, then we have two technically because there's one that we should probably also mention. First one though, what is your favorite Romhack or fan game? Because depending on which one people might send in, we might play that one. Not next time, but like the time after, because
it takes us a while to get. All three of us have to beat a game. That's not easy to schedule.
And we've already all essentially started or beaten Xenoverse at this point, so that's the one we're doing.
I will finish it eventually.
Yeah, you've got to. Again, that episode will probably come out. That'll come out like the end of October-ish. So that's when that one will be. But whichever one you guys suggest, we'll look at them and we'll.
Yeah, but tell us your favorite fan-made game, and
we might play that one for the one after that, depending on which ones we pick. But also, what do you guys think of the Direct? Because I feel like that's one we should probably just say. Cause
that's the real question.
Real question is, what do you think of the Direct? But also,
tell us your favorite fan-made game.
Yeah, fan game or RomHack, because then, again, you might hear us talk about it and or, like, review it, essentially.
On a scale of amazing to Adonis-like, what do you think of Chris Pratt's performance as Mario?
Oh my god. That's a whole other topic.
So yeah, Huku got the Green Tauros badge, and I guess, not on that note exactly, but you can follow us on social media, whatever. We have a Twitch.
Discord. Come to the Discord. That's where we handle most everything, honestly.
Insert social media plug here. And, on that note, I've been Dr. Shamu.
I've been Lynian.
And I've been Clod9.
And, we'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbye.